Hey everybody, it's Lillian. I hope that you are doing well. As you can see, I've got a look for you, and I promise I was really trying to make this as simple as I possibly can. I wanted it to be, a nice soft glam look, but as you can see, it really did not work out that way. Anyway, if you're interested to see this look and how I achieved it, if you would please stick around.
There's so much about me, more than the eye can see, but I'm so glad to be no one but me. No one but me.
This is the Maybelline Ultra Slim, and what it is this one is the deep brown. I got a deep brown and I also got a black brown. So I'm going to outline in the black brown, and then I'm going to fill in with the deep brown. So here's the this one is the black brown. So I'm just going to outline here. And it goes on really, really easily. That's what I like about these. I'm going to be using some lighter colors, so I didn't want for my whole brow to be really, really dark. That's the reason why I got that dark brown. No, what is it? Deep brown as well. Right. I'm going to use a light concealer. This one is by e.l.f. This is the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. You've seen me use this before if you've been following me, but the color that I'm going to use is Deep Olive. And so the Deep Olive one is very, very yellow. So that's what I'm going to go into. I only want probably just 2 dots, just like that, because my brows are already dark. And so I'm just going to clean them up using that underneath only. Okay, so you just kind of follow your line. It's not hard. Rich chocolate is like my shade. It's very close to my skin tone, and so I'm just going to put a dot here and a dot here, and I think that might be enough. Okay, there's no need to use a whole lot of product. That's what I like about especially about drugstore products, because if you have a good thing, you don't have to use so much. So I'm just going to get a little bit of it. See, it's very, very close to my skin tone. Okay, I'm just going to get a sponge and just clean it up just a little bit. Because it's so close to my skin tone above my eyebrows, it's not really hard to blend, as you can see. Now, if you want, you can stop there, but I do have these this clear brow and lash mascara, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with the brow side, and you just go over your brows with it. It'll help it kind of set a little bit. For the eyes, what I'm going to do, I'm not going to do anything really, really dramatic today. The lies! The Milani Gilded Gold, and what I like about it is it does come with a really, really nice mirror. As you can see, there is some text written here. You've got this mirror, "We are Milani," that's cute, and then here are the colors. What I like about this palette is that I like, first of all, the packaging, because it did come covered with this plastic over it. So while it's sitting on the shelves, I don't have to worry about anybody tampering with it. That is one thing that I do not like, when people tamper with the cosmetics. So I look to make sure that I am getting a brand spanking new product if I ever go to the drugstore and purchase it. I got this from Walmart. I think that it was around maybe $15. And for drugstore products, that can be a little bit high, but I know that I will use it regardless of how wonderful it is, or how, most Milani products you don't have to really worry about anyway. Usually they're pretty good. So I'm not really worried about whether this is going to work for me and all of that. I don't feel like I wasted money at all with Milani. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in now with that NYX. This is the NYX eyeshadow primer. I think I bought this from Target. I think it is. If I could stay out of Target and Walmart, I'll tell you, I'd probably have a whole lot of money. But I'm just going to use this and go in and prime my lid. I'm actually going to use my finger. This just gives it something to stick to a little bit. I'm going to go in with 100p, and I'm going to use that as a transition shade. We're going to see how that color comes up on my lid. So we're just going to go into that 100p, and let's see what it does. Yeah, I figured. This color is almost exact to my eyelid shade. And so that's why, I mean, when I saw this palette, I looked at that one and I was like, ooh, that's going to really work for my transition. So there may be some other palettes that I may use and go into this one just to use it for the transition shade, because it's almost perfect as far as, blending into my eyelid shade. Yeah, let me try a little bit of Fembot. Let me see what it's going to do. It is a shade that is not as brown. There's a little bit more orange to it, as you can see. So I'm going to try that one. Yeah. That makes this look, orange I think is the right color. It's almost, what I'm going to do, go into Boss Lady, and I am just going to pack it right here. I'm just dabbing. On the other eye, I'm going to go in with my finger. I want to see how this shade does with my finger. Swatch is really nice. Yeah. I figured, I don't know, some shades will, some shadows are just like that. It's not a pressed. It just says highly pigmented eyeshadow palette, but it actually is going on better with my finger. So I'll just let my finger do the work right there. And I was able to get that color on much quicker than on the other eye. So I'm going to go in with Eden, and I'm just going to dot it here. And we're going to bring it up. I also think I'm going to put some right there. So you have it here and you have it here. And we'll just create a line. Okay? As you can see, these colors are very pigmented. They were telling the truth when they said that. That's important whenever you have a palette that you want, you really want to get what you pay for. You don't want to be, ordering stuff or purchasing things and then it doesn't work for you. I want to wake up that boss lady, so I'm going to put something over it, just a little bit of something over it. So let's go in to For the Throne. For the Throne looks like it has, I don't know what color this is. Let me see. I don't know. Hold on before I say that. Oh yeah, it's kind of let me swatch it first. Okay. So for the Throne, as you can see, it has a little bit of a iridescent look to it. You see it? There we go. Gold, iridescent, little bit of shimmer of light purple, little bit of shimmer of maybe silver. I like these kind of shades, so I'm gonna put a little bit of that on my finger. I'm gonna go on my finger first, and then I'll just dab some on top. Okay, Lillian don't have a wild finger. Yeah, there we go. It's actually making all of the shadow shimmer. That's pretty. Y'all, I'm getting ready with nowhere to go. Where am I going? Nowhere. I am going nowhere. Today. Okay. All right. I do want to set my right underneath my eyebrows, because I have had this on for a little while. Well, it hasn't been very long, but I have had it on. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go in to this Fit Me by Maybelline. I have the 360, and I also have the 355. For some reason, 355 and 360 are like so different, and I'm going to put them up next to each other so you can see what I'm talking about. The 355 is like perfect for my highlight, you know, to set highlight. So I'm probably use that today. But the 360, can you see how different? You see how different these two shades are? And they, I mean, they're, of course, they're supposed to be different, but this is like, there's so many colors that could be in between these two, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to use that one just to set a little bit up under my brow, and then we're going to get ready for the rest of the face. I don't want to change the color much, just put a little something there to help set. One thing about drugstore products, you do need to set them so that, you know, they won't go running away from you. I don't want my concealer to be like sweating off or whatever. It can get really oily sometimes, you know. But this concealer actually does pretty well. This is the Milani Prime Shield. It is the mattifying one. I believe they had one that was kind of illuminating. No, I'm using the matte one, and so I'm just putting that on my face. It feels really, really nice. Has kind of a plasticky smell, if that makes sense. But it's a good, it's a little bit more. It's a good. Many of us are really familiar with this Maybelline Fit Me. Well, the reason why I'm kind of excited about this is because I just got another Maybelline Fit Me. The formula is amazing, and so I really, really like the formula. What I like about this one, though, is I do like the style of it. I like how, you know, you can squeeze every single bit of your product every single bit of your product will come out of here probably, because you can squeeze it all out, and when it gets empty you can, you know, start doing like that. So the shade that I'm going to use is, I'm using Warm Coconut, which is 356. I usually use 355 in this foundation, but the formula is still the same. That's something I like. Now, one thing that's interesting about this foundation is that if you have it like this, you will get 1 fluid ounce. Okay, so in a lot of the foundations that we use or that you purchase, you will get that 1 fluid ounce. So that's nice in this glass bottle. That is so wonderful. But I'm sure that it was probably cheaper to create this packaging. But in here you get 1.3. So it's just a little bit more in the pouch. Okay, so it has a top like this. It looks like some of my kids applesauce, something like that. Okay, so it just comes off like that. It does have a little seal here, so you probably heard the little, you know, when I turned it, because that was my first time opening it. So I'm just gonna go in. I'm gonna put a little bit. I'm gonna just put some on my hand. I'm kind of familiar. I'm kind of familiar with this foundation, so I don't think that I'll have any issues with it. All right. So I like to just put something on there. Okay. So I'm gonna go in with the Maybelline Fit Me. Didn't get a lot. I'm just going to dab it all over and then work it in. This is the same matte poreless formula that they have. You know that they have the one that is set and smooth, but it's for dry skin, normal to dry, I believe. And then of course the matte poreless is the one that's for combination oily. So I've never used the other one, and I probably will not, because I am combination oily. Or, I mean, in some cases, it seems like I am just oily altogether. Okay, so I'm gonna put a little bit down here at the bottom just to make sure that I am completely covered. This foundation is buildable to give you a really, really nice finish. Let's see if it says on here. If you've never used this, it says it says foundation with clay. This one, yeah, it doesn't say that. So this says foundation with clay. I don't know what clay means. I don't know if there's a difference there. No. No. It doesn't say what clay means, but foundation is a little warmer than I'm used to. So what I'm going to do is go in with this e.l.f. This is the Deep Cinnamon. I'm going to use Deep Cinnamon underneath my, right here underneath my eyes. Deep Cinnamon is not as red, I guess, or as warm as the Deep Chestnut. So I'm trying to kind of balance the foundation, because I don't want to be totally red. I want to look like a strawberry. This doe foot applicator is so big that, I mean, you only need to dip once, really, pretty much. Unless you always overdo it like me. So, ooh, I'm going to let that dry a little bit. Good, there we go. Okay. Oops, careful. Now I'll go in with this Deep Olive. Deep Olive is just going to give me a little something extra. I like it because it's very yellow, as you can see, and it just gives you a little push right there. Just a little bit more. Turn that around. There we go. As you can see, I use almost every single little corner of this. Okay. I'm kind of hard to please when it comes to setting powder. So I am going to try to use this Maybelline Fit Me setting powder, but if it doesn't work for us, I'll go in with something else. But I'm going to try my best to stick with all drugstore. This is actually the puff that it came in. I want it to look very smooth. Looks like it's doing the job. It is set, what is it? Set and smooth. Okay. Yeah, powder and bronzer brush. I'm just going to use this to go in with the Maybelline Fit Me. This is in 360. I'm going to use it all over my face. I do look red today. Okay. So there we go. Just to set all over the face. The medium deep, I was so shocked at how dark the dark deep was. I mean, I know that doesn't make sense, but when it comes to drugstore foundation, drugstore complexion products for African American women or women of color, people with darker skin, they're usually not as dark as they say they are. So when I looked at this, there we go. So when I looked at this and saw how dark that contour shade is, this contour shade is so dark to where I have to put the sculpt over on top of it, because it is like, for my complexion, it is very, very dark. So I'm just going to put just a little bit. See how dark that is? Just a little bit. And I am you know, just trying to blend it in as we go, because it's rather dark. Like, I think they did a very good job with that. And what I like to do is I like to just use the sculpt color and put it on top, because the sculpt color will kind of, you know, give me a little bit of help, I guess, with that. Okay. I like this brown because it is kind of a chocolate brown. Well, it is a chocolate brown, but it's not espresso brown. So that's why I got that one. The next thing that I am going to do before I put on lashes is I'm going to go in with, actually this is another drugstore product. They also have one in Wet n Wild also makes one. But as you can see, this is just a liner that is, it says Starry Eyed. It's a shimmer liquid liner. I've never used this brand before. It has an A on it. Oh, Absolute. Okay, so it's by Absolute. But I'm just going to put this, actually, I'm going to put this right on top of that brown shade, okay? Not on top of it, meaning like right there so it can be mixed in, but I'm going to put it directly above, let me say it like that, directly above the brown, if that makes any sense, okay? Okay. The hardest thing that I had with this was that it was, now it worked pretty well, but I had a hard time trying to go over the brown, on top of the brown. And so that was the only difficulty that I had, but it works pretty well. It works fine, but you really have to have a steady hand in order to do it the correct way. While my lashes are drying, the glue on my lashes are drying, I'm going to go in now with a brown eyeliner. This is another Ruby Kisses. It's just a brown eyeliner. It just says dark brown. I got this one from my beauty supply store as well. What I like about this one is it does have a smudge, a little smudger at the end there. And so I'm going to use this in my waterline. I'm going to line my waterline, and then I'm going to smudge it just a little bit. Very rarely will you see me sweep. I don't sweep much because everything that I use, I try my best to get everything out of it. So that's why I'm not sweeping at all. I'm just kind of pressing the blush in. I don't know. Lately, I've just kind of been blush happy. I don't know. This is the color Stunning. Guess who? Stunning. Just gonna top it off just a little bit with a little bit of shine. This one is Crush. This is Crush. Okay, this is the finished look. I hope that you enjoyed spending a few moments with me. If you did, please give it a like, thumbs up, and subscribe. Give me a comment down below and tell me what item you like the most. All right, I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.